New Year's, you can start all over. Everybody gets a second chance.
All right, it's New Year's Eve. Hope everybody has a good New Year and all that stuff. But I figured I'd do a little update on the LRP time capsule. So got some good news going on here. My floors are lining up pretty good. I had to remove the self-tappers from the center floor the other day, and I just got to get that line back up and put them back in, but that's not a big deal. But so here we are with the new floor. It's damn near almost in, so this is gonna line up good here. We're pretty close on this, and then I'll have to fill in the gap there. Our door channels are in, and they are in pretty nice and tight, so I'll be able to weld this stress cut that I made and then weld up my spot weld holes. I'm gonna have to cut this body line back a little bit. I gave myself a little extra here so I could figure out exactly where I need to be. So I think all the way around it's about a quarter off, which a quarter off for, 74 van and a 76 van for 1970s era manufacturing in Detroit, I really don't think is that fucking bad, my personal opinion, but I want to get it as close as I can. So I left myself a little room here to cut this lip back so I can bring this floor up just a little bit, because you can see where my wheel well pillars come down. It's just needs to go up a little bit more on both sides. It needs to go over just a little bit more on the pillars. Like it's just a hair off on those pillars. That one's almost spot on. The frame channel on this side needs to come up just a pinch. And the frame channel on that side is flush. Started doing my self-tappers on the center floor, and then once there's heat on it from the welder, I can form that flat. I should have went under with it, but it would have made a mess of the new floor. You can see I had to pound out, to get it flat again. So before I weld this up, I'll lift this up and try to smooth that lip out. But back here, you can see that our body line is damn near right on. Like it's just a hair off. And I think when I cut this body line back just a little bit, because I gave myself more room here than I needed. So if I cut this back, because it's hitting right there. So if I cut this back a bit, should be able to lift this up and move this up a little bit, and everything should be good on this side. Really tight fit in here. So, and then once I start welding the floor, I'll be able to form this, use seam sealer all the way around here, fill in my self-tapper holes. I'm gonna do I'll probably drill through this first layer of metal here, and then weld that into this. So I'll do hole, half a hole, hole, half a hole, hole, you know, and so on and so on. And then stitch weld around the floor and seam seal that all in. The door jambs in the back. This side looks great. I lifted the body up like several times. It dropped it right back down and it fell right over this. This side I'm really happy with. This side we had to kind of wrangle in. I had to pull out on this body and my buddy had to lift up and we got it to slide in. So once this is in, there's really no play to adjust anything. I mean, you have no play at all to, you know, say you wanted to, you know, use bolts in the legs that I put out and, you know, tighten them and loosen them so you could, you know, fit this, measure the rear axle, make sure you're all aligned and everything else. Literally, once all three of these door channels are set, you have no room to move this floor at all. I mean, trust me, we tried it. I had two buddies over here the other day and we tried it. So if my body lines line up and my door clearances are all good, like from here to here, obviously I can't measure that because there's nothing up there yet, but I can do it on my brown 76 van that I drive, and that'll tell me how the height of the doors and the channels, or the cargo door areas. I know the rear doors are shorter than the side doors because the side doors have the step. The rear door just goes right out the floor. So we got our gas tank tunnel, and like I said, we're just like a quarter of an inch off. And this side, the driver's side, needed some wrangling. You can see here, damn it, you can see that the body line is just a hair off. Sorry about the light. I don't have a light over on this side. It burned out. So we had this straight, and you can see we're just like a quarter off there. Like, I don't even know if it's a quarter. It's so freaking close. But we had to put a ratchet strap, cross member to cross member, and pull this side up into the frame gusset because it just did not want to bump forward at all. So I don't know if those gussets are just tight in there and they need beat, and you know, you just really got to push the floor, but we were really giving it some ass and it really was hard to get that in. So I know sometimes when you're making one vehicle out of two, you got to, you know, wrangle it at a certain point because nothing was built exactly the same. I mean that's what I've heard, you know, from all my buddies that have done unibody and just car restoration before. So I think my next move is I'm going to crank on that strap a little bit more and get it to where this fill is perfectly lined up with the hole. And I'm going to tack weld that. And I might tack weld it back here somewhere so it doesn't move. And then down here from the strap pulled it up a little bit. So where are you at? We're about focus a quarter inch to a half inch off on the rocker because the rocker came up when we used the strap to bring the floor forward, but the frame channels on the floor are flush. You can see them right there. So that's where I want the frame channels to be. But if I loosen that strap right now, everything's going to go back to where it was, and this is going to drop. So I have a feeling that if I weld the back, just a few tack welds, you know, once I get the gas tunnel aligned and I get this body line aligned with this lower, I will tack this into place in the back so that when I loosen that strap to drop that, I'll have enough room where the rear won't move, and then I can work this rocker channel right up where that front lip comes in and marries the two. And then I should be in business from that point on. I'm hoping, I'm thinking. And I'm just thinking out loud, so if anybody has any 2 cents to throw at this, you know, feel free to say something in the comments, because, you know, I've never done this before. So, this is my first car or vehicle restoration. So, of course, naturally, I have to do everything I don't want to do first, like unibody work. It's like no matter what I do in life, I always end up doing the hard shit first. So, now I know why there's not a lot of unibody guys left out there, because this is a job. And it's fun, and it's definitely cool, and it's a learning experience. But, yeah, and I'm sticking with it. I'm not giving up on this thing. I don't like to start shit that I finish. I see a lot of car projects that get to a certain point and people just throw them up on Marketplace and, you know, give up on them or sick of looking at them or whatever. But this is a cool piece, and I think once this floor's in, it's really going to bring this thing back to life. I mean, the A-pillars and the rain gutter in the back, I'm not really worried about that after this. So, you know, so getting it as far as I can, and, you know, cleaning it up, painting it, matching the paint, clear coating it all in, and, you know, redoing the rest of it. Cleaning up the motor, you know, putting the transmission back in, cleaning all that up, painting all that brand new, doing the heads, putting the, got a nice period correct aluminum intake with the rebuilt Holley that I rebuilt for it. So that's gonna go on the motor. So I got the seats coming for this. So this is it's coming together. I started this in May. May, June, July, August, September, October, November, December. I'm 8 months in. So like 8 months in, I think, something like that. So if I could have the floor in another month, I don't even think it'll be a month if we keep having decent weather. But if I can have the floor in another month, get the rear end in it, get the leaf springs back in it, drop it down back on all four. I think after that, I might take the heads off of the motor and have those gone through, and start working on the A-pillars so I can get that done. And yeah, so that's where it is. About a year, let's say a year and 2 months into this, from getting it. I'm sitting on it for a couple of weeks and figuring out what I want to do with it. If I wanted to junk it or pass it on or start gutting it. And, you know, it took me like 2 or 3 months to clean it out. And then winter. And then, what happened after that? Yeah, spring. So it was sitting out in the driveway, and that's when I started moving it and, you know, getting it ready to come in here. So to have a full floor underneath this thing and sitting where it's sitting now is pretty unreal. It's pretty fucking rad. And like I said, I've never done this before, but I'm glad I did, because this is something that, I don't know, man, it's just cool. You know, it's cool. So, I don't know. Anyway, Happy New Year. See y'all later. Hopefully, I'll have something more on this soon. So, peace.
You sit there and you look at me. You got my woman. You got my money. You got me pretty good, buddy. And you laugh, you and her. One day, I will kill you. One day, I will kill you. As the cops took me off to jail, I saw you making fun of me, laughing. I gotta hand it to you. You really know how to f*** someone over, and I was the willing dupe. But I know you can't sleep at night, because the words, one day, I will kill you. One day, I will kill you. Yeah, I knew she'd leave you. I knew you'd be broke. But you didn't count on me getting out of jail so quick. Now you sit there in a cheap motel room.
I also wanted to share something else with you. So, we got some of the old stuff out of the van, like the roof, stuff like that. I just wanted to kind of save this as a reference to, the color of the carpet, the length of the shag, which I know it's really hard to get the 2-inch shag stuff. There's one company out of Georgia that makes it. It's really expensive. But, so we got the green. So a couple months ago, I was on Facebook Marketplace at work, and I saw something pop up, and it was so fitting for the van. It was coming out of a house literally around the corner from where I work. An old man went into a nursing home or something, and they were cleaning out the house, and they found this upstairs. So, and they decided that somebody could use it, so they threw it up on Facebook Marketplace, and I think I gave the kid $50 for this massive roll of 1970s era, 1960s era, maybe, I don't know. It still has the tag on the back of that. So, and it's literally like almost the exact same. Like, you'd put the two up against each other and you wouldn't even notice the difference. And it's not brittle, it's not hard, perfectly fine and usable. So $50, I got that Facebook Marketplace to redo the interior of the LRP. and keep it as period correct as we possibly can. And we got the LRP high back bucket swivels coming from a couple out in California that have them for me, and we're gonna get those reupholstered in a two-tone, like a velvet and a black vinyl. So, and we're probably gonna go with a yellow velvet on that, so we have the two-tone swivel. So that's something I wanted to share with you guys. So I hope you dig that. Anyway, peace.